War for Independence, American Revolution. First known war before the American Revolution was the French and Indian War, and it was a North American conflict that became part of an imperial conflict between the French and Great Britain. It began in 1754 and ended with a treaty in 1763. Right after the French and Indian War, the eastern part of North America was divided into three. First was New England or Northern, second was the Middle, and the last was Southern. Great Britain controlled all three of these parts of North America, and all the products came from Britain. Since Great Britain was in debt, they placed taxes on their products, and because of this, the colonists had to pay more. The act that was known for rebellion of the colonists was the Tea Act. The Tea Act made the colonists so mad that they dressed as Mohawk Indians and dumped tea to the ocean. Outraged by the colonists, they started to boycott British paper products, and eventually the Stamp Act got repealed. Since this happened, it influenced in other parts, like in Boston. The rebellion in Boston soon made Britain furious that they released the intolerable acts that was to punish the people of Boston for what they have done. These acts made the colonists even more angry that they drafted the Declaration of Independence, which was a list of grievances that the king had abused, and their rights should not be taken away, or called the unalienable rights. Other things happened that the colonists did was an act of rebellion soon led to the American Revolution. The first battle was the Battle of Lexington and Concord, where the British troops landed in Lexington and Concord during the night to destroy the supplies that were stored in Lexington and Concord. Paul Revere then called out, "The British are coming," which soon woke the people up and the troops got ready for battle. The Battle of Saratoga started when British General John Burgoyne made plans to isolate New York and hoped it would separate the men, supplies, and political leadership east and south part of New York, and to divide and conquer. During the War of Saratoga, Benjamin Franklin was trying to negotiate with France to recognize the United States as allies, in which they did recognize them as allies. Winter at Valley Forge was an event where General Washington tried to train his army and show them some discipline and become even stronger. A German named von Steuben arrived at the Valley Forge on February 23, 1778, to help train Washington's troops. His training of troops paid off, and the time they heard the news that France will aid them in war. The Battle of Yorktown was a decisive victory that completely defeated Great Britain at hands of the United States. General Cornwallis was forced to surrender when trying to escape and flee, but then was flanked by the French, and there he surrendered. The Treaty of Paris was a treaty where it ended the American Revolution for good, and it was signed by both Britain and the new nation, the United States. This is where they got their independence. Right after the American Revolution, they declared the United States as a republic, but they soon had a hard time what the government should be. Most commonly, they argued about that the government should become as a central government or a strong national government, in which most of this began the formation of political parties. The American Revolution was important because it recognized the United States as being independent from Britain. Without the American Revolution, we will still be controlled by Great Britain. But because of it, we formed our newly nation.